Great. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. We will go straight into questions for you, and we will kick things off with Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Austin, looking ahead to All-Star next week, I'm curious if you look forward to it with it at Texas, since that was kind of the place where you last won, or do you also, the other part of the question is, do you want to see the All-Star race move around some, or would you like to see it find a permanent home?
Yeah, I think it's good to move it around. It's not bad also to make it a permanent home. It was pretty awesome when we had it in Charlotte for so many years because you knew where you were going to be, and race fast. Actually, hold on a second. Hey, guys, you still got me?
Yeah, still got you.
I'm getting a phone call. Let me try and hang up. Oh, it's all right. Anyways, yeah, I liked it when it was at Charlotte at the All-Star race because, close to home, you knew what it was. Texas, it's cool going there for 1 year. I think you should move it around a couple times. Plus, Texas hasn't provided the best of racing yet. So I would be voting for another track possibly, but you never know. I think as the surface wears out, Texas could be a better race for the All-Star race. It's just needs to, lose some more grip and then maybe, that'll create a more exciting All-Star race.
And have you looked at the format at all, or is that something you just start paying attention to like the day or two before?
The week of probably, I've been focused on Kansas this week, been in the simulator a lot. Hopefully we get through Kansas and get a win so we're locked into the All-Star race, and then I'll really focus on the format. Other than that, I know we got to race our way in or get voted in. So it's, right now I'll focus on Kansas.
Thank you.
Next question will come from Alex Andrea. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Austin. I've also got some forward-thinking questions or forward-looking questions. Looking ahead to the Coke 600, you've had 3 top 10 finishes there in the last 3 Coke 600s. Is that a track that you guys are circling this year as like one of your potentially best where you can lock in a win? And what has made that 3 team so strong there?
I don't know what it is about Charlotte. I've always had really good success there. I enjoy the track. I understand what it takes to be fast there in a race car, and I have a feel for it. Obviously won my first cup race there at Charlotte. So definitely circle it every year as a place that we go out and compete well at. Last year, we were really fast, and one of our pit crew members went down leading into that race. So we kind of struggled on pit road that week. But I'm really excited about it and taking the next gen car there. We did get one test this off season when it was really cold, but I'm always excited to go to Charlotte. It's a good place for me.
And then just looking at kind of beyond the racing and the event of that weekend, I mean, there's been so much change in the Cup schedule and so much innovation. What do you see as, I guess, the benefit of keeping something like the Coke 600, a crown jewel event on the schedule for NASCAR? Or, the old question is always like, do they take it off the schedule eventually at some point?
Yeah, I hope not. I think to me, it's an iconic weekend, being Memorial Day weekend, seeing all the different military branches, the men and women that protect this country out there. And I always get excited for that race, for the national anthem, the show that goes on before, and really, paying homage to all of those that have fought for this country. So to me, I hope it doesn't change. It is a crown jewel, being 600 miles that just, every year preparation changes a little bit because you're going to be in the race car for such a long period of time. And I think it's a very special race, and I hope it never goes away.
Thank you.
Next question will come from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Austin, got a couple questions. I think there's a feeling that the organization this year is stronger at this point in the season, but looking at what you did last year compared to this year at this time, last year you had 6 top 10s. You were actually a little bit higher in points, obviously 5 top 10s this season, and some runner-up finishes. And I'm curious, has much really changed? Are you guys really that much stronger? Because you had some good runs earlier at this point through the first 12 races last year?
Yeah, we were pretty strong last year, and you kind of got overlooked because we didn't make the playoffs, and we were a consistent team all of last year. This year, I do feel like we've had way more opportunities to win races. I think the disappointing part is we've had more, bigger catastrophes at the racetrack where it becomes like getting wrecked at Phoenix, finishing, second or third to last, or should be 21st in that race, but getting wrecked at Atlanta, coming to a stage end for a possibility of top 3 points there, blowing up at Daytona and Bristol. So we didn't have those type of bad days at this point last year. You had a couple more average days, but we've also had some bigger days with our, we have 2 second place finishes, a third, Martinsville, Talladega, and Fontana. So we've definitely had more opportunities to win than last year. And, my teammate has 2 or 3 second place finishes as well. So if you looked at the total of it, we've done really a good job and should be in victory lane at this point. That's the disappointing part. I feel like we've had some really close calls and not been able to capitalize. And that's where you see us at where we're at in points. And I feel confident that we can go to victory lane this year. And I think it will happen.
Also, I'm curious, certainly 3 of the last 6 races, there's been some sort of contact at the end of the race among the leaders. We saw it last week at Darlington at a bigger track. Is with as tight as the competition is, with what winning means and seasons, nobody really kind of being able to be consistently good result wise all the time, the ups and downs this year. Are bigger tracks more in play now for some sort of contact or type of things that we saw at Darlington, or is Darlington more of a unique case because of the track and maybe being off the gas a little bit more than it's some of these other bigger tracks?
Yeah, I think Darlington, you're constantly fighting tire wear, and you see guys come and go. So the ability to make a run is a bit easier. If you're asking about 1.5 miles and the contact part of it, if you get a run and you can get a guy up the track, you'd probably do it. But it's much tougher at 1.5 miles not to take yourself out of the race as well. And I feel like there's usually plenty of room at 1.5 miles. You've seen some slide jobs go wrong at 1.5 miles. Those type of opportunities are kind of the only way to make something happen when it comes to a last lap, moving a guy for a win. And, I think that's what NASCAR is, put together with this playoff system, that wins mean so much. You do what it takes when it comes down to it to go to victory lane. And I think everybody's organization would be upset if they didn't.
Is there ever get to a point where you can win a race and feel bad about it then?
I don't know. That's for, I guess, everybody else to worry about. I'm of the opinion that, there's 36 of us out there, or 40 of us every weekend. And if they have the opportunity to make it happen, you probably will. In the back of your mind, I didn't think Chase Briscoe had a shot to win at Bristol, and he took out Reddick and himself. So, if you're going to do it, you better win. I mean, that was a boneheaded move, if you ask me, and it didn't work out. So, but he's trying to make something happen. I don't think he ever had a shot of making it happen. That's the part that sucks about that kind of a deal. When you're within range and you've got an opportunity with the way it is to pass and what wins mean, you got to do it. You know what I mean? It just sucks when it doesn't work out. It's part of the game, and how much it's been, precedent put on winning races. And some might feel bad if it comes down to that. But if you take home a trophy to your organization and all the guys that put in hours on hours and hours of time in these race cars, they'll probably have your back in the end.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next question will come from Mitchell Brewer. Go ahead, Mitchell.
Austin, I know it's still early in the season, but how much do you worry about the playoffs at this point in time in the year?
How much do I worry about the playoffs this time of year? I mean, I think it's on your mind no matter what. It's stays there because that's kind of the measuring stick when it comes to your end of the season. I mean, you can have a good season and not make the playoffs. I did that last year. I probably had a decent season, but it didn't matter because we didn't make the playoffs. Playoffs are what brings in, starts clicking off those bonuses and contracts, and it changes your end of the year for your entire organization. So, I mean, to me, the playoffs is everything. So it's always on your mind, no matter how much you try to conceal it. It's what determines a solid season, a good season, getting a win, getting in the playoffs and making progress.
And is that something you pay attention to more this year because you missed the playoffs last year?
No, I mean, every year I pay attention to it and I really push for it and want to be in it. I've been able to make it to the next round a couple times in the playoffs. So yeah, every year it's on your mind, and I definitely know where we are at point situation, but I truly think that the way this year's gone, you're going to need to win. I think there could be 16 winners. I feel like it's important to win. And then from a point standpoint, once you get in the playoffs, I think things change a little bit. You points racing becomes a little, winning obviously always stays important, but points racing in the playoffs is more important, I think, than right now in the regular season. Cause I do feel like regular season, we're going to have right at 16 winners.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Matt Humphrey. Go ahead with your question, Matt.
Austin, earlier you said that you're focused right now is Kansas Speedway. I'm here at Kansas Speedway right now. What is it about this racetrack that you're focusing on to get to victory lane this weekend?
Well, I think the top, everybody's going to be up there running right against the fence, ripping the wall this weekend. From what I heard at the test, the rubber really laid down up there, and there was a big difference in speed from the top to the bottom. And I feel like just been focused on making my car handle in the simulator up by the wall. And I think the next thing that's on my mind is where to make a pass, where to attempt to make a pass. When you pull out a line, you got to get yourself clear and then back in line. So it'll be important to do a good job of, making your car have that ability to run against the wall, but also when you need to make a move to slide someone, that it can happen.
Great. Thank you.
Austin, that looks to be all the questions we have for you this morning. Thank you again for hopping on with us, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend at Kansas.
Thank you, guys.